Hi, I'm Arvind Ratnayaka. I'm a travel and tourism consultant and a naturalist. Here in this vlog, I'm going to talk about importance of backpacking travelers, especially to a developing tourism destination like Sri Lanka, and also Sri Lanka being a developing country. So who are backpackers? Backpackers are the ones that, as the name suggests, the guys who will have a backpack and then they travel using local transportation. They tend to stay in a much more budgety homestays or guest houses, and they tend to avoid sometimes more touristic places, and they tend to go to what you call non-touristy or lesser touristy places. In a sense, that these are the foreign travelers who come to Sri Lanka or into any other destination and travel like locals, and they try to behave like locals also. I think because of this, there is a sort of a misunderstanding about backpackers, especially in a tourism industry point of view, and as a general public point of view. They think that these are the cheaper guys. In a point they are, but if you look at the value that they are bringing into the industry, they are not the cheapest one. They are actually for me, is the most valued travel sector in any tourism destination or any developing destination. Let me explain to why. First of all, comparing to any other form of travelers, backpackers has the least amount of leakage. So leakage is the money going out of the country to a destination, and they are the best at distributing wealth. So because backpackers tend to travel around the destination, around Sri Lanka, and they'll go and stay in a homestays, they're going to go and stay in a guest houses, they're going to eat in a local restaurants. So these people are bringing money from out of Sri Lanka and distributing those money in the local community, and they are the most effective of that. And in that way, that's very good. Another thing is that cultural integration. So backpackers are the ones who will mingle with locals, they are the ones who talk to locals, and they're actually integrating our culture and their culture with locals, and they're actually making Sri Lanka much more friendly in that way. Any other destination much friendly in that way, because they are talking to locals, they're exchanging ideas, they're exchanging things like, imagine the word like a tuk-tuk. We used to call tuk-tuk, we don't even used to call tuk-tuk, right? A tuk-tuk is a word that the backpackers created in Thailand, and they are the ones who brought these words, and now everybody talks about tuk-tuk. We used to call tuk-tuk three-wheelers back in the non-touristy days, I guess. Other thing is that backpackers are also environmentally friendly. So these are more younger generation, more hippie generation, I guess. They are also very environmentally friendly. So that's like one of the more key benefits that I could point out. But the most important benefit that I think that backpackers are bringing is they are stimulating the economy. Especially backpackers, especially if you look at places like Arugambe or Ella, which wasn't big on the bigger tourism calendar. These backpackers tend to went there. They've discovered these places because of their going. There were a lot of small hotels open up. There were a lot of small tuk-tuk drivers and van drivers started to have travel and tourism services, and they actually built this whole Ella and Arugambe community, which is actually really, really good for those economies. So they are actually helping the economy, is stimulating the economy, and they are also giving a kickstart to Sri Lanka small and medium-term tourism providers. This is very important because SME sector in tourism or any other industry, SMEs are important because SMEs are the future of Sri Lanka tourism. So these are the future bigger travel agents. These SME guys, hoteliers are going to be the future bigger hoteliers. So the importance of backpackers, of stimulating Sri Lankan small and medium term tourism community is crazy important. And other thing about backpackers are, when it's come to Sri Lanka, which is unfortunately we are way behind as a destination, as a country, when it's come to digital marketing and also promoting. And today's backpackers are the best promotional item for Sri Lanka, because all these backpackers are very digital savvy, and they have this deep connection with the destination they always travel. So they will always Instagram Always Instagram. All these beautiful pictures that you'll see on Sri Lankan Instagram pages are, I would say, I don't know the percentage is right or not, maybe more than 75% is from backpackers. So that is really, really important. And these are the backpackers who actually make reviews on TripAdvisor, make reviews on Booking.com, which is also important because sometimes these, I'm not saying that we don't need mass tourism, because mass tour traveler doesn't behave the way the backpacker dresses, because backpacker has this deep connection to a destination, and a mass traveler just has this sort of a, I'm not saying they don't have a connection, but they're much more detached to that whole thing, because there's a lot of service providers are doing everything to make sure that they are having the best time, and they tend to go to resorts and stuff like that. So I think I kind of establish how important backpackers are. So I think backpackers, another point that I want to tell you, backpackers are the future of traveling, because I think we are going from baby boomers to much more digitally and much more friendly. So if you look at Europe as a much more established tourism market, now they are in their second and third generation. These people are already well traveled. So backpackers, again, I want to say that, not repeating this anymore, but these are the younger guys. Like backpackers are sometimes the gap year students. Backpackers are who are taking their time between uni and the job. So they are traveling first time. So a backpacker now, maybe 5-6 years ago, forward, can be a banker, can be a doctor, can be a lawyer, can be a businessman. So if you are really impressed a backpacker now, there's a possibility of their coming back is much more higher, rather than you are marketing to a much more of a baby boomer crowd, which doesn't have a much bigger digital influence than backpackers, and the backpackers has a good communication network, and the backpackers has the more ability to come back to Sri Lanka as a much more luxurious tourist. And again, this is something that I'm been noticing, anxiousness, I guess, is that people who travel as backpackers in their younger days, who are now having a lot of better job and coming to Sri Lanka, and they tend to stay in a boutique hotels. But if you look at their sort of a travel behavior, even though they have much more money to spend, they still behave like a backpacker. So as a naturalist, as somebody who do lots of adventure work, so I've been working with like investment bankers and such, and they still behave like backpackers. So yes, backpackers are going to be the future, and backpackers is a sector that we need to target on. I think Sri Lanka Tourism is doing this homestay village idea, which is, I think, very good. Backpackers are helping the local community. Backpackers are influencing the local economy. That's very good. And then as a nation, I think that we got it kind of wrong in our tourism policy making. I think we need to give much more, we need to be open up more to backpackers, rather than we are going towards China or any other things. I think it's apparent how much good they are doing. So as a policymakers, I'll ask policymakers to think about it, and also as a viewers and audience, you guys also need to think twice about how much of benefit these guys are bringing into local Sri Lankan economy. So kind of that's it, because really not very good at finishing vlogs. Thank you very much. As always, if you have any comments, suggestions, let me know. And thank you, and always encourage. So I have to say goodbye. I'm very bad at stopping these things.